Hello, brothers and sisters in music. It's Tommy Z. It's very nice to see you here. Today, we're going to address the question of readiness. The question that haunts many of you musicians sitting there at home asking, am I ready? Is my music ready? And of course, as soon as I decide to record this video, the doorbell starts ringing, the dogs start barking. Obviously, we're not ready to record this video. Let me answer this door. Okay, we're back. So the big question, am I ready? The question that will probably paralyze and sabotage many of the folks who actually have the talent, who actually are ready and they don't even know it. Why? Because they haven't asked someone who is actually ahead of them on the path, who could tell them, I've listened to your music, I've looked at the way you showcase your best musical skills, and I can tell you with confidence, you are ready. Instead, many musicians simply hide out in their basement, tinkering toward perfection, whatever this perfection may look like, especially when it comes to music. What is a perfect piece of music? What is a perfect reel? These don't exist. Concretely speaking, the simple basic thing to accomplish is to match the competency level of your musical skills to the needs of the marketplace. And you can very easily judge this when you look at music providers in our space and making music for brands. You look at the portfolios on the music production company websites, and then you A/B what they're doing and what you're doing, and that can very quickly give you an indication of whether your music is up to par. But the most valuable way to assess your readiness level, I have found, is to simply share your work with someone who's already in the business. We have over 1,000 musicians in our academy. And still to this day, I will say that the most valuable thing we do for them is not the 40 hours of curriculum. It's not all the information that we provide. It's not the live calls. It is giving them an assessment of where they stand. An industry professional actually listening to your stuff and saying, here are the 3 things you need to tweak before you go out there in the cold world and ask someone for an opportunity. Just think how many weeks, months, years this saves you of tinkering toward perfection in your dark basement. And whenever you consult your troubled conscience about whether you're ready or not, what's going to be the answer? Nope, you're not ready. You need one more plugin. You need to tweak the font on the website. You need to score 10 more things. You need to learn how to do finger drumming. Absolute nonsense. You don't need any of that stuff. Now, a lot of musicians, they take a look at the investment required to be mentored by us and they go, that's way too expensive. The question I have for you is, what's more expensive? Hiding in your basement, tinkering toward perfection, consulting your own conscience, which is completely distorted by now. It has no idea, which is going to keep telling you, you're not ready. We got to get things perfect. We got to get things perfect. Taking years off of your precious lifespan, years that you could be investing in actually working concretely toward bettering your craft and showcasing your skills to the right people? Nope. Instead, you want to fly solo. Folks, the best advice that I can give you, whether you choose to be mentored by us or not, is if you want to take off, you got to stop flying solo. You got to stop saying, I'm not ready yet. What are you not ready for? If you want to succeed as a musician, as a professional musician, can you at least tell me that you're ready to be ready? There are different stages of readiness. Are you ready to improve your craft? Once you have improved your craft, are you ready to put it together in a crisp, clear, compelling showcase? Once you have done that, are you ready to reach out to the first 3 people who you will share your best work with? You see, very often when I ask, am I ready? That's such a vague question. Ready for what? And then the second question I have for you is, how will you know when you're ready? You're not going to be able to judge that objectively. Your best friends are going to say, oh yeah, you're ready. You're the best. But you don't trust them, and you're probably right. Your family's not going to be able to assess your readiness level, the musical competency required in order to succeed professionally as a musician. So who's going to tell you that? You don't want to email random industry people and sabotage your first chances at a job by asking them their opinion on the music. It's like by the time you contact them, you should have a fair degree of confidence in your craft, right? I'm rambling on here. But the message is this. I've been mentoring musicians for close to 20 years now. For the past 5 officially, running an online academy that's helping countless musicians to make a living with music right from their home studio without selling, streaming, or touring. I know this is starting to sound like an infomercial. I want you to stop saying, I'm not ready, because you are ready. Perhaps you're not ready for this, but you're ready for this. And maybe if you're not ready for this, you're ready for this. You get where I'm coming from? Most people who are actually in our business already making tens of thousands of dollars creating music for big brands and their campaigns, they weren't and they aren't feeling ready either. After 20 years in the business, whenever I receive a brief, I still feel like, how do you do this exactly? I still feel like I'm shaking in my boots. When I see the reference, we got to create that. Oh my goodness. And I've been doing this for 20 years. And I'm not alone. There are accomplished, award-winning film composers, legends, who have literally said, I think it was Danny Elfman who said this, look it up on YouTube. He said, every time I get a film, I still open the new session and I'm like, I think I forgot how to do this. So folks, don't say stupid stuff like, I'm not ready. As long as you're ready to be ready, then you're ready. You just got to concretely specify what you're actually trying to be ready for. For each stage on the path to becoming a full-time musician, there are stops, there are milestones, and you just work one by one on each milestone. You do the things that are necessary in your craft, in your mindset, in your business, that help you feel prepared for when the opportunity comes. Are you ever going to feel completely ready? You are not. No woman has ever said that she's ready to give birth to a child. You just want to do it and then you go ahead and do it. It's the same for musicians. You'll probably never feel ready to become a full-time musician, but that's okay. 2 things are necessary. 1, it's the desire to become a full-time musician and the willingness that goes along with that to do what is necessary. And 2, just do the daily deeds that improve your craft, your showcase, your business, and your mindset. And the biggest thing that I can advise you about mindset is stop saying things like, I am not ready. The next time this statement, I am not ready, comes up, please challenge it. Not ready for what? I'm ready to be ready. And then challenge it with the second question. How will you ever know if you're ready? The only thing that I'm asking you to do is to be willing to try. I'm ready to be willing to try. You got to get over these misconceptions and biases and distortions that appear in your brain daily. Like thinking that being ready means that you're going to have the perfect mix. You don't need to have perfect mixes to be making tens of thousands of dollars in our business. There's going to be a broadcast mix engineer that takes care of the mix. Did you know that? You need a massive catalog of music before you even approach the industry. No, you do not need a single piece of music in your catalog. Do you know why? Because if you're already great at making music and somebody comes to you and says, do you have anything in your catalog that sounds like this? You know what you're going to do? You're going to spend the next 24 hours in creating that piece and then pretending that it came from your vast catalog. Not only is that piece going to be precise, pinpoint accurate to the brief, but also you're going to make a huge impression on these folks. And you're just going to keep making music from scratch and pretending it's from your catalog until you have a catalog. I've just saved you years of worrying about whether you're ready or not. Musicians think they need thousands of followers on Instagram and Spotify in order to be ready. Folks, I have made a full-time living from music for the past 20 years. Do you know how many Spotify followers I have? I can probably count them on my hands. Same with the streams. I'm not saying don't make records. I'm not saying don't be an artist. I'm just saying as my life goes, let it serve as an example that you don't need any followers. You don't need any streams. You don't even need record sales in order to make a living in our business. And this is the unique path that we teach. Stop trying to squeeze pennies out of people for music that they can stream for free. Stop trusting that the streaming platforms are ever going to be generous with you. Instead, go where the money is. Brands have the willingness and the ability to pay millions of dollars for original music every single year. $900 billion. That is the cumulative yearly budget that brands spend on marketing and advertising. Let's say 10% of that goes to music. We're still talking about billions of dollars. That's where you want to be with your craft, with your showcase, with your mindset. Even if you're not ready to break into the business, at least give me this. I am ready to start learning how to be ready to enter the business. And the only way to know if you're actually increasing your readiness level from day to day and getting closer to your destination is to ask someone who's ahead of you on the path. Am I ready? No, you're not ready. You're not ready to send an email to our business with our showcase, but you are ready to improve your craft. Let us show you the 3 ways you can do that. Work a few months on that, come back to us. Am I ready? Yes, you are ready. Now it's time to put together your showcase. Work a few weeks on that. Is it ready? A few more tweaks and it's absolutely ready. A few weeks later, am I ready to reach out? Yes. You are now ready to reach out. Do you see how readiness is an actual ever-evolving process and not like a state? It's not a permanent state. It's an ever-evolving process. At the end of the day, if you want to actually make tens of thousands of dollars in our business, like the countless musicians that we work with, there are only 3 things that our industry cares about. Number 1, can you match the vibe of the film that will be sent to you with your composition? Number 2, can you finish this song 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or 90 seconds by the deadline? And number 3, if they like your demo but want to make a few tweaks, can you actually accept constructive feedback and turn around something with enthusiasm without complaining about the fact that they're making you do more work? That's one way to know you're not ready to go from amateur to pro. Those are the 3 things. That's the only thing you have to learn about. Did you notice I didn't say mixing the hi-hat, becoming a master at Dolby Atmos, becoming a finger drumming master? None of those things matter. And yet I've literally met students who have totally sidetracked their focus because they thought finger drumming was necessary. It's absolutely not necessary. Neither is learning how to mix your hi-hat. You gotta know what to focus your time and energy on. And that is the advantage of a mentor. They have the perspective. They can see the things you cannot see. They can tell you, stop wasting your time with this. It's not important. Because notice, for us creative people, everything seems important. The font, the color, the layout, the split-second difference between where you place that hi-hat, the reverb trail. Oh my goodness, everything seems so important. And then you get overwhelmed. And of course, you never feel ready to come out of your dark basement. But that's not how pros operate. And it's difficult to operate like a pro until you are in the room with some pros and you see how they operate. And that makes it a little bit easier to model that behavior. So folks, to conclude this video, ready is not when your skills are perfect or flawless. Welcome to the world where learning will never end, and you don't want it to, trust me. How inspiring, how intriguing, how life-giving would it be to be a musician if you knew everything, if everything was perfect? What ready actually means is that you're ready and willing to improve in public. Because at the end of the day, folks, for many of you talented musicians watching this, it's not your music holding you back. It is the distorted script that tells you you're not ready, whatever that means. Perhaps the only thing that holds you back in the end is that script. And who knows, maybe at least you're ready to delete that script. If you want to learn how we turn amateurs into artisans who are being commissioned by the world's biggest brands to create songs, scores, and sounds for their commercials, campaigns, and content, we have a free, comprehensive introduction for you. The link is below. It's absolutely free. It takes 30 minutes. And at the end of that 30 minutes, you'll be ready to decide if you want to pursue this path or not. My name is Tommy Z, and I'll see you in the next video.